Session number 6, how riches come to. One of the great secrets in prosperity, wealth, and abundance, as Bob will explain, is multiple streams of income. However, what you need to understand is there is a secret in sharing the gifts that you have, the secret even in sharing the science of getting rich with others. The secret is you get to keep what you give away. That is a law. What you give away, you get to keep inside of your very soul. So as you begin to share this secret, as you begin to share this gift, as you begin to share this high energy with others, you are participating in a field of generosity, and more good get to be poured through and as you. Riches will come to you because you are vibrating on that same frequency through your generosity, through your giving, through your radiance, through your absolute sharing. Bob's going to bring it home to you in session 6, how riches come to you.
As you immerse yourself in this particular session, you're going to realize how riches do come to you. I believe they come to you in multiple sources, and they come from all over the place. I have an affirmation that I use. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me through multiple sources on a continuous basis. You know, it has always been my opinion that this information should be taught in school. We can go right through our educational system and come out the other end and know absolutely nothing about earning money. An individual could have a degree in economics and still know nothing about earning money. Wallace Wattles begins by saying, "When I say you do not have to drive sharp bargains, I do not mean that you do not have to drive any bargains at all, or that you are above the necessity for having any dealings with other people. I mean that you will not need to deal with them unfairly. You do not have to get something for nothing. You can give to every person more than you take from them." Now, you cannot give a person more in cash value than you take from them, but you can give them more in use value than the cash value of the thing you take from them. The paper, ink, and other material in this particular program may not be worth the money you paid for it, but if the ideas in this program bring you thousands of dollars, you have not been wronged by those who sold it to you. They have given you a great use value for a small cash value. And I'm of the opinion, with the system that we have set up for this program, you should easily be able to earn $1 million. Just get your calculator out and figure out what you have to do to earn it, because the potential and the opportunity is here. Now, Wattles went on to say, let's suppose that I own a picture, which in any civilized community is worth thousands of dollars. I take it to Baffin Bay and by salesmanship induce an Eskimo to give me a bundle of furs worth $500 for it. I have really wronged him because he has no use for the picture. It has no value to him. It will not add to his life. But suppose I gave him a gun worth $50 for his furs. Then he has made a good bargain. He has use for the gun. It will get him more furs, much food, and will add to his life in every way. It will make him rich. When you rise above the competitive to the creative plane, you can scan your business transactions very strictly. If you see that you are selling a person anything that does not add more to his life than the thing he gives you in exchange, you can afford to stop it. You do not have to beat anybody in business. And if you are in a business which does beat people, get out of it at once. Give people more in use value than you take from them in cash value. Then you are adding to the life of the world with every business transaction. As we begin talking about money and talking about income, the question has to come to your mind, how is it that some people earn so much more money than others? You will see some individuals earning millions of dollars and others really scrambling just to get by. Well, I found out what the answer was to that question. They're operating with different income-earning strategies. The very worst income-earning strategy is used by the vast majority of people. 96% of our population are following an income-earning strategy that will not permit them to become wealthy, or if they do, it's at the expense of a life. This income-earning strategy is what I refer to as M1. The others are M2, M3. Nothing too creative about this approach, but it does communicate the idea. M1 is used by 96 out of every 100 people, and yet they only earn approximately 1% of all the money that's being earned, which is a little ridiculous when you look at it. This is where people are trading their time for money. Now, this strategy has an inherent problem. It's called saturation. We run out of time. Everyone gets exactly the same amount of time. So it's not how much time we have, it's what we do with the time, because we all have the same amount. If you're trading your time for money, it really doesn't matter how much you're earning an hour, you're going to run out of time, therefore you have a lid on how much money you can earn. And yet, that's the strategy that we learn in school. That's generally the strategy that we see our parents and friends and relatives and neighbors following. And so we just fall in line and we use the same strategy. Now, M2 is a better strategy, but it's only used by 3% of the population, and for very good reason. M2 is where you invest money to earn money. Now, there's usually some problems with this strategy because many of the people that are investing don't know what they're doing. They're in the M1 category. They've squirreled away a little bit of money, and then they move up to M2 and they try and invest it. And since they don't know what they're doing, they frequently make a poor investment and then they lose their money. At any rate, M2 is a good strategy if it's worked properly. And if you don't know how to invest money, you should get advice from someone who has demonstrated by results that they know what they're talking about. Now, M3 is a strategy I stumbled on many years ago, and it's a strategy that will enable you to take the lid off your income. If you're going to teach your children an income-earning strategy, this is the one you should teach them. M3 is where you multiply your time through the efforts of others by setting up multiple sources of income. Now, I'm going to spend more time on multiple sources of income a little later on in this lesson, but it's the strategy that historically has always been used by wealthy people. M3 is where you multiply your time through the efforts of others by setting up multiple sources of income. This strategy is used by 1% of the population, but they are 96% of all the money that's earned. Now think about that for a moment. 1% of the population earn 96% of all the money that's being earned. It's so ridiculously out of balance that if this is the first time you've heard that, you probably think I've made an error. I have not made an error, but I can tell you this. You can move in to M3 in a heartbeat. As a matter of fact, if you follow the strategy that we have laid down in this program, and you decide to share the secret science of getting rich with other people, you will automatically move into the M3 category. Now, Wattles went on to point out that if you give people more in use value than you take from them in cash value, then you are adding to the life of the world with every business transaction. When you share the secret science of getting rich program with other people, I can guarantee you're adding to the life of the world with every business transaction. You are moving yourself into the M3 category, and you're going to begin multiplying your income. There's absolutely no reason why you're not able to turn your annual income to a monthly income. As a matter of fact, that would probably be a good objective for you to set for yourself right at this point. Now, Wattles went on to say, if you have people working for you, you must take more from them in cash value than you pay them in wages. But you can organize your business so that it will be filled with the principle of advancement. Thus, each employee who wishes to do so may advance a little every day. You can make your business do for your employees what this program is doing for you. You can conduct your business so that it will be a ladder by which every willing employee may climb to riches himself. and it is not your fault if they do not accept the opportunity. I personally subscribe to that idea in my own business. I want every person in our company to become very wealthy, and we've laid down a path where they can do that. Now, even though you can cause your riches to come out of the formless substance which permeates all of your environment, it does not follow that your fortune will immediately take shape from the atmosphere and come into being before your eyes. If you want a sewing machine, for instance, I would suggest that before you impress the thought of a sewing machine on the thinking substance, you first make sure the image of the machine is clearly formed in your mind. If you want a sewing machine, hold the mental image of it with the most positive certainty that it is being made or is on its way to you. After once forming the thought, have the most absolute and unquestioning faith that the sewing machine is coming. Never think of it or speak of it without feeling confident that it will arrive. Claim it as already yours. It will be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence acting upon the minds of men. Andrew Carnegie said a similar thing to Napoleon Hill. He said, any idea that is held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate physical form that's available. Whatever you have to attract for the manifestation of your idea, you will attract. If you live in Maine, it may be that a person will be brought from Texas or Japan to engage in some transaction which will result in your getting what you want. If so, the whole matter will be as much to that person's advantage as it is to yours. Do not forget for a moment that the thinking substance is in everything, communicating with everything, and able to influence everything. The desire of the thinking substance for more life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines that have ever been made. And it can cause the creation of millions more. It will do so whenever people set in motion by desire and faith and by acting in the certain way. You can certainly have a sewing machine in your home. You can have anything you want, as long as you use it for the advancement of your own life and the lives of others. You need not hesitate about asking largely. It is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. Most people don't understand that. But it's true. Whatever you ask for, it's yours. Ask believing you'll receive it. Wattles says the original substance wants to live as much as possible in you. It wants you to have all that you can or will use for the living of the most abundant life. The truth is, everything you're looking for is looking for you. Everything you're seeking is seeking you. Now, Wattles went on to say your faith becomes invincible if you fix upon your consciousness the fact that the desire you feel for the possession of riches is one with the desire of the supreme power for more complete expression. Wattles explained that he once saw a little boy sitting at a piano and vainly trying to bring harmony out of the keys. He said he was grieved and provoked by his inability to play real music. Wattles asked him why he was unhappy, and he answered, I can feel the music in me, but I can't make my hands go right. The music in him was the urge of the original substance containing all the possibilities of all life. All that there is of music was seeking expression through the child. God, the one substance, is trying to live and do work and enjoy things through humanity. He is saying, I want hands to build wonderful structures, to play divine harmonies, to paint glorious pictures. I want feet to run my errands, eyes to see my beauties, tongues to tell mighty truths, and to sing marvelous songs. All that is possible is seeking expression through human beings. God wants those who can play music to have the instruments they need, to have the means to cultivate their talents to the fullest extent. He wants those who can appreciate beauty to be able to surround themselves with beautiful things. He wants those who can discern truth to have every opportunity to travel and observe. He wants those who can appreciate dress to be beautifully clothed, and those who can appreciate good food to be luxuriously fed. He wants all of these things because he enjoys and appreciates them. It is God who wants to play and sing and enjoy beauty and proclaim truth and wear fine clothes and eat good foods. It is God that worketh in you to will and to do. The desire you feel for riches is the infinite seeking to express himself in you as he sought to find expression in the little boy at the piano. You need not hesitate to ask largely. Your part is to focus and express the desires of God. Napoleon Hill said a similar thing. He said it takes no more effort to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty. The average person does not understand that, but I'm going to tell you something. When you put this marvelous program, The Secret Signs of Getting Rich, in another person's hand, they're going to understand it. And as Wattles says, this is a difficult point with most people. They retain something of the old idea that poverty and self-sacrifice are pleasing to God. They look upon poverty as a part of a plan, as a necessity of nature. They have the idea that God has finished his work and has made all that he can make, that the majority of humanity must stay poor because there's not enough to go around. People hold to this erroneous thought so much that they feel ashamed to ask for wealth. They try not to want more than a very modest competence. They ask for just enough to make them fairly comfortable. I recall now the case of one student who was told that he must see in his mind a clear picture of the things he desired so that the creative thought of them might be impressed upon the formless substance. He was a very poor man, living in a rented house and having only what he earned from day to day. He could not grasp the fact that all wealth was his. Therefore, after thinking the matter over, he decided that he might reasonably ask for a new rug for the floor of his best room and an anthracite coal stove to heat the house during the cold weather. Following the instruction given in this particular program, he obtained these things in a few months. Then it dawned upon him that he had not asked enough. He went through the house in which he lived and planned all the improvements he would like to make in it. He mentally added a bay window here and a room there. He continued until it was complete in his mind as his ideal home, and then he planned its furnishings. Holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in the certain way and moving toward what he wanted. He owns the house now and is rebuilding it according to his mental image. Now, with still larger faith, he is proceeding to get greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith, and it is so with you and with all of us. There's no end to what you're capable of earning. Analyze the strategy that you're using to earning money. Ask yourself, am I following an M3 strategy? And if you're not, and you don't really understand it, sit down and study it. Study this program. Take a pen, write how much you've earned in your best year at the top of a sheet of paper. And then stop and ask yourself, how could I triple that? Multiply it by 10, and just think of how you can. Don't spend 1 second thinking of why you can't. Only think of how you can. Earlier, I referred to the three income earning strategies, M1, M2, and M3, and I emphasized M3 was the one that you should focus on and certainly teach your children. Understand this, what you don't fix, the kids inherit. And income earning is a very, very important subject. Multiple sources of income is a technology which will permit you to multiply your present income by providing service beyond that which you are presently employed at, your primary source of income. Additional service, additional income. Through MSI technology, you will earn many times what you are presently earning at your primary source of income. MSI, multiple sources of income, I use MSI just as a short form, is a concept which has been adopted by almost all very wealthy people. You could almost remove the almost and say by all wealthy people. Multiple sources of income is exactly what it says it is. Income from multiple sources. MSI is not another job. MSI is not a better job. In fact, MSI is not even a job. MSI is a way of adding a new dimension of excitement and fun to your everyday life while you're becoming very wealthy. And MSI is an idea with which you're in harmony. An MSI is an idea which enables you to provide service to humanity in a lawful manner for which you will be fairly compensated. It says nothing about going to work. Now, does that mean you don't work at all? Well, no, you may have to work to get the thing launched, but once it's launched, it'll provide income for you. The compensation that you receive from each MSI could be minimal, or it could be millions of dollars per year. An MSI should not interfere with nor cause you to jeopardize your position at your primary source of income. Now, I'm assuming that you're working at something you love to work at. Andrew Carnegie pointed out that the accumulation of great fortunes calls for power, and power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But that knowledge does not necessarily have to be in the possession of the person who accumulates the fortune. Now, in another piece of literature, Napoleon Hill pointed out that it pays to know where to buy knowledge, and it really does. As you go through the text for The Secret Science of Getting Rich, you're going to see what I refer to as the Wheel of Fortune. That's where we have 15 different slots for you to fill in with sources of income. Now, you decide on the number of MSIs you will have. You could have 115 if you want. We've just got 15 on the wheel. Now, I'm going to give you an MSI. I'm going to give you one that I've got, that I developed a long time ago, and I'm so glad I did. I want to suggest you write a book. That's right, write a book. You're in harmony with the information that you're operating with. It's your information. Put it in a book. Do you know that I give away as many books as I sell? This is a beautiful concept. It's a great marketing concept. Give the book away. It's a great brochure. Do you ever find yourself throwing books away? You throw brochures away. You throw business cards away. But I don't know many people that'll throw a book away. I don't. I have boxes full of books. Well, write a book. In fact, we've got a company that will help you write the book. That's the sole purpose of the company. LifeSuccessPublishing.com. Go there and look at it. And we'll help you write a book, and then you give the book away like you'd give a brochure away. You sell some of them. The profit you earn on the ones you sell will pay for the ones you give away. And you're setting up a new source of income with the book. It is one of the best ideas we've ever come down the road with. Jerry Robert, a business partner of mine, runs this company, and he's a creative genius when it comes to marketing concepts. And he started this, and it's working. You might want to look into it. Now, in the center, right at the hub of the wheel, is what I refer to as the psychic source of income. Your psychic source of income is how you spend your days. When you get out of bed in the morning, how do you spend your days? You should spend your days doing what you absolutely love to do. That's how you get your psychic source of income. That's the satisfaction that we get out of life. That could be your job. You don't go to work for money. You go to work for satisfaction. You set up systems to serve other people to earn money. Money is a reward received for service rendered. We should spend our days doing what we love and having our psychic source of income. And Thoreau said, if a person will advance confidently in the direction of their dream and endeavor to live the life they've imagined, they're going to meet with success unexpected in common hours. The key word in that quote of Thoreau's was endeavors. You just have to endeavor to live the life that you've imagined. You're not going to do it right all the time. You're going to make errors. You're going to slip. You're going to step backwards. But if you keep giving it everything you've got, and you put the Wheel of Fortune on a wall, you stick it on your desk, laminate it, fill in the slots, and say, over the next 2-3 years, I'm going to develop 15 new sources of income. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm not quite sure how many sources of income I've got. I have many. In fact, I have somebody hired to look after them. I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't do anything you can hire somebody else to do. You should do what you absolutely love to do. Spend your days doing what you love. And I guarantee you, you're going to live a wonderful life.
Hello, this is Jack Canfield again. As I listen to this particular session in The Secret Science of Getting Rich, How Riches Come to You, I've just got to smile. You know, there's a quote here from Wallace Wattles that I really like. He said, "You cannot give a person more in cash value than you take from him, but you can give him more in use value than the cash value of the thing. The paper and other material in this book may not be worth the money you've paid for it, but if the ideas in this book bring you thousands of dollars, you have not been wronged by those who sold it to you." You know, as I look back over the years that Mark Victor Hansen and I have been compiling Chicken Soup for the Soul books, we've each made tens of millions of dollars. We sold over 100 million copies of Chicken Soup books in 47 languages. That represents over $1 billion in retail sales. $1 billion. Now, if you look at the cost of the ink and the paper that goes into producing a book, it's less than $1 a book. Even when you add in all the production costs of labor in the design and editing and production of the book, it still comes out to less than $2 a book. And yet a Chicken Soup for the Soul book retails for about $14 a copy. While the paper and ink may not be worth $14, let's consider the use value as Wallace Wattles instructs us to do. You know, over 3,000 people have written us to tell us they did not commit suicide because of a story they read in a Chicken Soup for the Soul book. Consider that. What's a life worth? Certainly more than $14. Prison wardens who've read Chicken Soup stories to their prisoners over their intercom at lights out at night have told us that violence in their prisons have been reduced by 50%. Is that worth $14? Mothers have reunited with estranged daughters after reading Chicken Soup for the Mother-Daughter Soul. What value do you place on having a lost child back in your life? People who've read Chicken Soup for the Entrepreneur Soul have been inspired to start their own businesses. People who've read Chicken Soup for the Writer's Soul have been encouraged to write the book that they've only been dreaming about for years. What's the value of a dream realized? Certainly more than $14. Mark and I had a vision to heal the world one story at a time. Now, the world is far from being totally healed, but this mission became our passion. And now hundreds of millions of people have been uplifted, inspired, and empowered to act by just a $14 investment. Similarly, when you fall in love with an idea and become so committed to sharing that idea through serving others, you're going to quickly become aware of how riches can truly come down the pike to any person. It's not about hard work and toil and sweat. It's about the idea and the committed action that follows the idea. Of course, there's work behind any great idea and how you disseminate that idea to help the lives of others. But it should never have to be forced work. It should simply be action, action, action. And excited action at that. You're creating something out of the ether. And as you continue to act, you'll see how it falls more quickly and easily into place as your idea begins to take shape in the material world. When you begin to see that idea take shape, when it's actually something you can touch and see and feel the result of, well, it's an incredible, grateful moment. When I experienced that moment myself, which I have many times, I'm always reminded of the quote that Bob gave us earlier from the great psychologist Alfred Adler. He said, "I'm grateful for the idea that has used me." Believe me, I am always grateful to the idea that has used me. It's made me wealthy beyond my wildest dreams. It has brought me incredible recognition for the contribution I've made. It's widened my circle of friends and my circle of influence. I have traveled the world sharing my story and the principles I've learned along the way. I can tell you, I feel fulfilled and I feel satisfied, and I've led a meaningful life. Yes, I am indeed grateful to have been used by an idea. So I suggest you take the time right now, before moving any further in your study here, to write a description of the idea that is using you, as well as the gratitude you feel for the idea finding you. And we'll be talking more about gratitude in the next session.